Imagine surgery in the year 1840. There is no anesthesia, there are no antibiotics, and the surgeon isn't washing his hands, he's wiping them on his blood-crusted apron to clean them. Welcome to the nightmare. Back then, speed was everything. The longer the surgery took, the more likely the patient would die of shock or pain. So the best surgeons weren't the most careful ones. They were the fastest. They were basically butchers with a diploma. Enter Robert Liston, the Usain Bolt of amputation. He was 6 feet tall, arrogant, and could amputate a leg in under 2 minutes. He was a rock star. People literally bought tickets to watch him cut people open. Before every surgery, he would shout to the audience, "Time me, gentlemen, time me." He treated medicine like a sport. But one day, his need for speed would go horribly, statistically wrong. The patient was on the table. The crowd was hushed. Liston grabbed his knife. He moved so fast that his hand was a blur. He wanted to break his own record, but in his frenzy, he missed the mark. He swung the blade to cut the leg, but he was too fast. He didn't just cut the patient, he accidentally sliced off the fingers of his assistant who was holding the leg. 2 victims for the price of 1. But Liston wasn't done. On the upswing, his bloody knife slashed the coat of a distinguished gentleman watching from the front row. The knife didn't touch his skin, only the fabric, but the man didn't know that. Seeing the blood on his coat, which was actually the patient's blood, the spectator thought he had been stabbed. Overcome with terror, he screamed, had a massive heart attack, and dropped dead on the spot. So, let's recap. The surgery is over. The leg is off. But we have 3 people on the floor: the patient, the assistant, and a random guy from the audience. The operation was a success, technically. A few days later, the reality set in. Remember, hospitals back then were basically Petri dishes. Both the patient and the fingerless assistant developed gangrene. The infection spread, and they both died. This brings the death toll to 3. 1 patient, 1 assistant, 1 spectator, all from a single surgery intended to save 1 life. Robert Liston had achieved the impossible. Do the math. 1 operation, 3 deaths. That is a 300% mortality rate. It's a record that has never been beaten, and hopefully, for the sake of modern medicine, never will be. Ironically, Liston was actually a genius who invented tools we still use today. But nobody cares about his forceps. We only care that he was the only doctor in history who was literally too fast for his own good. So, the next time you are waiting hours for a doctor, don't complain. Be thankful they aren't trying to break a speed record. Slow and steady keeps your fingers attached. History is bloody, stupid, and hilarious. Just like us. I'm the monocle black hole. Subscribe or I will send Robert Liston to trim your fingernails. Farewell.